everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Kat Timpf Show. How's it going? Guest today, Terry Schappert. How's it going, buddy?
Hi.
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 Now you're a former Green Beret.
Which is the acronym is FAG, former action guy.
All right, I wasn't aware of that.
So now, but that's legitimate. By the way, that's not a sexist or nasty homophobic acronym. We call guys who get out or are still in but are not like on the front line, jumping in and slinging lead. They're called fags, former action guys. Now I'm a civilian actually, which is even weirder.
So they're not concerned too much about PC over there
in the military. No. And the reason we're not is because PC is bullshit. It's a fake. It's a fake construct. And that's the problem, transitioning for me is getting out of the military. And I have some, I'm doing TV stuff, blah, blah. There is no political correctness in the military because it's combat.
Right.
And combat's real. Combat's the most real thing you can have. So that's why I always laugh when I see people. No, the reality of the world is a gunfight. And so there's no quotas. There's no safe spaces. There's no like you got to say this because you'll offend them. If you guys could walk into a team room and hear the way we speak to each other, you would think we are all awful, racist, horrible human beings. But the reason we talk that way is because we love each other, and we know that the political correctness is fake. So there's no political correctness.
No, so you spent how many decades in that? Like for how many millions of years?
Yeah, I got a degree in actually anthropology genetics, and then I got out in '88 and I enlisted in the Army. So I was from '88 to '97. I was an active duty. I was a paratrooper, ranger, fought in the Gulf War, tried out for the Green Berets, and I lived with those dudes in Europe for about 4.5 years till June of '97. I got out, came back to New York City, went to classical theater school here.
Oh, wow.
Circle in the Square Theater School on Broadway. So I went from being a Green Beret to doing jazz hands. So I got an MFA in acting there. And it's great. I mean, I got to play Macbeth on Circle in the Square stage, the Broadway stage. And my career was going quite well. I was doing TV stuff and some cool independent movies. And then when 9/11 happened, I was like, what do I do?
Oh, 9/11.
Go on auditions or get back in the fight.
Right. I was gonna say, do you miss killing people?
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was just like it was the right. I spent my whole life, adult life, strong, peak fitness life, fighting these dudes and training to get them. So it was an easy thing. October '01, I re-enlisted. In March of '02, I was in the Middle East with a team, and the National Guard Green Berets. So I had my civilian career, which was sort of TV and stuff, but you lose a lot of momentum because I had an agent. Every time I'd come back from a tour, he'd go, and he used the classical. He's like, Terry, where have you been? I was like, Francis, keeping your ass safe. Just get me the audition, and I'll get the call back or the job.
Yeah.
We'd go back and forth all the time like this, and he wouldn't get me auditions for months. And then all of a sudden, I'd be getting ready to roll out either on a training mission or an actual deployment. And he'd go, hey, can you come in? These guys want to meet you. I was like, dude, I've been sitting on my ass for 3 months with nothing. I got to go away for a couple months. And he finally gave up.
Yeah.
So what helped me out was I got a big break. I ended up getting my own series on History Channel called Warriors with Terry Schappert, where I wanted to call it warrior culture because it was combining what I think anthropology with the idea of being a warrior culture. I'm in a warrior culture of the Green Berets. So it was cool. I got to go live with Zulus, fight with those guys, train with them. I was with these dudes in Norway that they all look like Slayer because they're Vikings. These guys have these Viking gatherings in Europe where they go. They drink, they party, they have these, mock combats with swords and axes. Where else?
Jeez, I watch a lot of Netflix. My life sucks.
Same thing.
Right, Kollege? Yeah, I mean, if I was in a gunfight, I'd just be shot.
I would
same.
Well, I'd
be shot immediately.
I would be shot immediately.
I'd be like, where am I?
You're a small target though.
Yeah, that's true.
You could probably hide behind like a Coke can or something.
I'd hide behind another person. I don't care. I want to live.
Yeah, by the way, I want to live.
Yeah. I'm totally okay with women and children first. Like I want to be on that. I want to be on that lifeboat. All right.
Well, you know why? Here's why. And there's a biology thing here too. We've talked about this on Fox with Greg, our buddy Greg, our mutual pal,
G. Gutfeld,
Mr. Gutfeld. As far as the sexual stuff in the military and having women in the military, you got to remember, women are way more valuable as human beings than men because you guys make more people. And so in a biological drive, it's not sexist that we want to protect you. It's survival of the tribe.
That's
one of the reasons.
I'm okay with people being like, men and women are different, and I should have to do less shit. I'm like all about that. I don't want to, there's certain things I don't want to have to do, like drive.
Why? What? Yeah.
I don't want to drive.
Not if someone can do it for you.
I don't want to, I don't know how to, I don't know that I've changed a light bulb by myself.
The perfect chick. She's
I'm like, can you help me? I don't know. I don't want to be expected to know where I'm going,
That's what's so funny about you, because I've kind of known you for a little while now. I'm fucking onto you, because you are, you're like one of the smartest chicks I know, but she'll do the dumb, like,
right.
Can you fix my toilet?
And
they'll do it. They'll do it for you.
Yeah. Why would I not do that? Why would I not do that? Well, the thing is, it's fun for me now because I'm still young and hot, and I'm not looking forward to being like, because women expire way earlier than men do. Like, I'm gonna throw a funeral-themed 30th birthday party for myself.
Are you really?
I'm excited about it.
Can I come to that? I want to see that.
Absolutely. My birthday is actually next weekend.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna have a Donner party themed birthday. Which I don't know. Is that like, I wanted to go up for Halloween a sexy Donner party, just wear like a short skirt and like have blood on my face and like a bonnet and walk around with a severed arm. But I don't know if people will think that that's offensive.
They'll just probably think you're a zombie.
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think half the people would even get it if you said that, hey, we're having a Donner party, they'd be like, I don't know what that is.
I already am having a Donner party. If anyone wants to come, Donner party. I purchased stuff for it on Amazon. Like, I bought a bunch of bonnets, a severed hand, and like bones, and like a book about the great tragedy. And I was sure I'm on some kind of list at this point on Amazon. And I bought hair vitamins. It's like,
they're gonna call. Someone's gonna take a look and go, "Could someone sort through this chick's stuff? Well, why is she buying this?"
Because I'm so fascinated with the Donner party, and I don't know why. I mean, eating people,
human beings,
eating people, being like, I could die or I could eat my sister. Holy shit!
Well, and people, luckily, thank God, the way our culture is now, as materially successful as we are. We don't really have to think about that.
Right.
But those people did have to think about that.
Right.
Yeah, do you want to live or not? That's kind of it, And I've been in some pretty, obviously, dicey situations in my life. I've never been in that where I had to choose that. Right. I've eaten some really gross things like bugs and snakes, and actually snakes are quite good. But I've eaten a lot of really awful stuff because I need to. But like that would be even for me. I'd be like, if that was my buddy, even though he was dead, I'd have to be on my way out the door before I filleted him.
I'd eat him.
I'm telling. By the way, you would.
You could eat me. Like, if I was dead, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you open.
Everyone always talks about how if I died in my apartment, which a lot of people bring that up. People bring that up a little too often. I mean, look, I'm a little, I'll probably live, knock on wood, a couple more years. But if you die, then your cat's gonna eat your face. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, that's good if I'm not feeding him because I'm dead. It'd probably take people a while to find my body because I kind of don't leave a lot sometimes,
You're small.
Yeah, you would just eat. I'd be like, good for him, he knows how to,
good on
stay
him.
alive.
By the way, it just shows he actually has a really very strong self-preservation skill.
Yeah,
and cats do.
They do, and that's what the Donners did.
Yeah, that's a human. That is a mammal thing. Although yeah, and you read. There's a whole bunch of different situations where that's happened before. That big one that came out in the '70s, Alive, about the trip through the Andes, and that plane crash. It was a soccer team, and they were stuck in the Andes Mountains. A bunch of them got killed, and then a bunch of them walked out. Well, the ones that walked out ended up eating people.
Did they have therapy back then? I mean, I feel like I ate my sister would be a good reason to need to go to therapy.
Probably have to talk to somebody.
There's probably no social workers in the pioneer times. They were too busy not getting dysentery.
Right, you're too busy. Like I've said this before too. These are all first world problems, right? In the third world, it's kind of a big victory if you don't get eaten by a tiger. If you're in Bangladesh, where I've been, that's a big win.
Oh God.
Here, because tigers eat people there. People get killed by tigers over there down in that Indian subcontinent.
Yeah, we post those videos all the time.
Have you ever seen somebody get eaten by a tiger?
I never have, no.
That'd be crazy, man, to see someone get eaten. I would just...
Yeah, it would, yeah.
If I was in one of those areas, I would just like walk around with a syringe full of death juice in case I saw a tiger. Like I keep in mind, I would not try to fight for my survival because I know I'm a logical person. I'm going down. Me versus a tiger. Me versus pretty much anyone or anything that's not a toddler. I'm going down. So I would just be like, well, I had a good run and let the tiger, I don't want to be alive when that tiger's mauling me to death.
No, you don't want to be alive when he's pulling your liver out.
No, ew.
Yeah, isn't that gross? Yeah.
See, they like livers?
I don't
You're
know.
just saying. I don't know.
Saying.
I don't know much about.
I think they
tiger
kill
maulings.
well, yeah, and tigers are big cats. What they like to do is actually get on your neck and chomp, and it just squeezes, crushes your windpipe, crushes the carotid arteries. And actually, a lot of times when you see those, like the lions and them, they actually just basically smother the animal. You'll see them still kicking because they're still going through the agonal contractions.
That's so passionate and sexual.
It is sexual, and they're kicking and struggling, and the lion just almost kind of leans in a little more and just puts more pressure on their neck, and it just eventually they go.
So that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I would never want to go. I guess I don't know if it's because I'm a girl. I would just never want a job where it's like, all right, well, you're gonna go to work and you'll maybe die. I don't know what. How does
There's a lot of chicks who have jobs like that, though. I've met a lot of them. Yeah,
you work at Fox. You could die.
Yeah, that's true. You could be skinned and eaten there too.
Every time something, I'm like, well, but I don't know. I mean, I could get bombed pretty much anywhere, I guess. But stalkers. Maybe I could get murdered by a stalker. But I don't want to be in the line of any sort of fire
or apex predator.
Yeah, nothing like that. I mean, so didn't you do like sniper?
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. I did all that. I was it's funny, I went to the formal Green Beret sniper course, which is the best one in the Army, not that long ago. In 2011, the unit had a slot, and it's kind of hard to get slots to the school because there's just not many, guys. It's a small group, and the unit was going to give the slot back because nobody could go. It was a 9-week thing, and it's the National Guard, so a lot of guys, it was kind of a late thing. Hey, we got a slot leaving in like 2 weeks, and they talked to me and they're like, hey, we're gonna have to give this back up to the battalion, which is a higher level. I said, no, I'll go, let me do it. So I just did a little bit of prep time with my M4, just grouping, because you have to shoot in, meaning you got to be good enough to get in, and all you got to do is when you shoot your M4 rifle with the iron sights, not scopes, not glass, you just have to make sure you have very, very tight groups. That way they know you already have good shooting fundamentals. If you can shoot a rifle, that's the whole thing about sniping. If you're good enough, and it's all basics, there's no voodoo about any of this crap. Anybody tell, no, it's science and it's mechanics and it's mindful repetition. If you're able to take a rifle and group, meaning all the shots that you fire like in a 5-round group are like that close, you can take that group using optics and calculations and all these and wind calls to move that group 1,500 meters away.
Yeah.
But you gotta have that first, because that tells you you're doing everything right with the trigger, your body, your breathing. So I shot in and 9-week course, and they called me Grandpa because I was the oldest dude there. I was like, I think I was 44 when I went through that, and it was funny because I'd done a bunch of TV before that. Like I'd done Shark Week before that too, like a year before that. So one of the instructors, every day he would come in and go, hey, what's up, Shark Week? Yeah. And I would say this to him. I said, guys, you guys know I'm kind of a big deal. I'm kind of a D-list cable celebrity. So, and it's hot as shit outside. Could you guys get a group to bring my guns out to the range? Because I don't want to do. And they would laugh, and it was a really good course. It was 9 weeks. They made it longer than it used to be because there's a big urban component now. The old school sniper course had to do a lot of flat range time where you're walking back and getting what we call dope. Data on previous engagements. So what you're doing is shooting at different ranges under different conditions, recording that, and that will later on you can refer to that when you go, all right, I got to take a 900-meter shot. Here's the humidity. We're so much better than that now. Now there's ballistic computers that you can actually plug in the data of the gun you're using. What's the caliber? How high is the scope over the bore? What's the rifling twist? Everything you can think of about the actual gun, you plug that in. And then you also plug in atmospherics. You take out your Kestrel, which gets you humidity, temperature, barometric pressure. All these things affect the round in smaller, bigger ways depending on how different it is. Then you shoot some tests. It's a long process. But then you end up basically getting a range card saying if I laze a target, or if I can calculate that target is 820 meters away, I then know how far I have to hold my crosshair above that target and then my spotter behind me is going to just call quickly, hold left or right based on the wind. The wind is the art in sniping because no one can do that for you. You've got to have either you or the guy laying on your ass looking over the gun. He's going down with a high-powered scope, looking at the target, seeing what the grass is doing in front, the heat mirage. Where's the wind coming from? Then he pulls back a little bit like midway. That will affect it, and then he basically gives the guy a wind call, like hold left 2 mils.
But when it comes to like shooting people, I don't know. Does it just start to feel like a video game after a while?
No, well, I've never used this. I mean, I've never used my sniper stuff to kill people. I know lots of guys who have. No, I don't. It's not a video game. It never feels like that. It's real, but it's also not. You talk to the good guys, they're all quiet, cool dudes. I mean, anything. Listen, here's the other thing, too. All of us, when you do what we do for a living, when you are trained extensively to commit violence.
Yeah.
When you commit that violence, when you are around it, when it's committed to you or the guys you love and care about, and you see them, what happens to them, it will affect you as a man, as a woman, whatever.
I would imagine that killing people would.
There is a price, a psychic, emotional, and spiritual price to be paid for what we do, and that's not a chest thumping. That is what it is. And by the way,
I believe that.
Yeah, and any human being who has gone through combat, whether it was from like my show Zulus, where I talked about one of their best things was they had a ritual to welcome the person back, and ritually cleanse the violence. We don't have that in the U.S. We come back. The VA puts us on fucking meds, maybe assigns a counselor, but guys like us don't like to go to counselors because that feels weak.
Yeah, like what would some counselor have to say about what do you know?
Well, a lot of them are trained in PTSD counseling and trauma dealing, but sitting across from someone like that, I mean, I've talked to somebody like that, and one guy I talked to was cool. He was really nice, and then one of them was a woman. She was nice, but I was like, she's never really been in our position, so I know she's helping me or she's trying to help me, but it's a hard thing for guys like us to do that. So the result sometimes is you start medicating guys, and that is a different path too, and it's not a good path ultimately, because that when you're on meds, whether it's antidepressants or psychotropic or whatever you want to call them, sleeping meds, which I was kind of heavy duty into those for a while.
Which ones?
Ambien,
yeah. If you stay up past the hump, it can be pretty fun.
Yes, I know that. Well, it got to the point where I would take it for that reason.
Yeah, I was prescribed it for a while too, and it was like, I can't. If I don't fall asleep, then I'm just gonna be like, what was I texting? Like,
by the way, and that happened to me a bunch. I would call my buddy the next day and I'd start talking. He goes, "You were on the phone with me for an hour last night." And I said to him, I didn't really tell you that I wanted to have sex with you, did I? Because if I did, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, you never know.
Awkward.
It makes no sense at all. I don't know. I mean, it's stuff like that. It's like, oh, here, take this, and Ambien. I can't believe Ambien's like still a sleeping medication.
Yeah,
because it can go wrong
pretty badly.
It can go when it goes bad.
When
it's
people
bad.
drive their car and don't know they did it.
Yeah, like that's an example of something that's bad.
Yeah. So we try to stay. So I think they're trying to get away from a lot of just slap the guys on meds. I have a good friend. He's a retired sergeant major. He lives out in New Mexico. And he's got a working cattle ranch. And so what he does, and it's a very small charity, they don't get a lot of money. It's called Horses for Heroes, actually, if anybody's listening. His name is Rick Iannucci. Great, full-on, ass-kicking Green Beret sergeant major, higher level than I ever was. He has his own cattle ranch, and what he does now, he brings out people that are really broken mentally. Some physical broken, but mostly mental. And he goes, dude, after I have them on a working cattle ranch, living outside, having a purpose, a couple weeks, they're different men. The meds they don't want the meds anymore. So that's kind of but those kind of things take time and resources that it's sometimes not so easy to go, oh yeah, let's get this guy into a horse program. It's like, oh no, take this pill.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean? It's not like the VA means to be bad. I've been to the VA for different things. There's good people there. They're very caring a lot. But you and I hate big government.
Right.
The problem is that it's the bureaucracy, it's the Byzantine paperwork, it's the regulations, the good doctors that are trying to do what they're supposed to do, they just can't even keep up with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that, by the way, that's government health care.
And a lot of these doctors, they get, insurance companies, and the more pills you sell, the better. And it's like, it's not about getting people healthy, but smaller. And so, all right, we'll talk. Let's see. We were talking about the election earlier. We should talk about that because you're the only person that I've heard say in the past few weeks that you think Trump's going to win. That's interesting to me.
I do.
I don't know about that.
I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, you're throwing it out. I guess. I mean, you're gonna vote for Trump.
I'm gonna vote for Trump not because I like Trump. I have never. I can say you can look through all my writing, all my communiques with people. I've never fallen for the Trump thing, and I feel embarrassed for people who do. Who you know what I mean? Like I feel like, dude, you're really justifying this guy. They're basically, when they're like that, they're just as bad as the Obama robots that were like, he can't do any wrong. And da-da-da.
Right.
No, Trump is not. I don't think he's a particularly moral guy. If you're looking for a moral leader right now, you're done.
Yeah, you don't have any.
I don't want that. I think Trump is a snake oil salesman. I think he is. I do think he's got some good qualities, though. And here's one of them. I think he's loyal. I think he's loyal to the people around him if they produce. That's a good thing. I do think he is very pro-American, to the point, embarrassingly so, to a lot of left-wing people that think that's really kind of jingoism and stupid. And see, what's happening with Trump is, in America, we are now we're a bit along the way that what's happened to Europe, which is the multiculturalism shoved down your throat, big-time regulations, basically telling the people there in Europe or Germany or the Netherlands or England, your culture is not important. Your language isn't important. You will accept these people. And by the way, these people have no interest in being English, right? So we see that. That's what's happened. Europe is done. I used to live over there. In America right now, we have given the lives of so many of our citizens during the military to fight for people. We don't even take anything fucking from them. We gave Germany back. We gave Japan back. We gave the Philippines back. So we've done a lot. Now, we've made a lot of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. We've all been, I've been in places I'm like, we probably shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Got it. We're going to do that. But Trump is at least pro-American, and that he's like, you know what, enough. And that's why I think a lot of people are going to vote for him that you're not going to hear about on polls. Because what happens when you say, I'm a Trump supporter? You get eggs thrown at you. You get your sign stolen. They key your car.
Right.
So it's not worth it to say to a poll, I'm a huge Trump supporter. And now we fucking know by watching. Can I curse on this show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank God, because I can't do it on Greg's show, which is, I used to be able to curse on Red Eye and they'd bleep it. Now
because at 3 a.m, I mean, you can, but I swore on the show last week, but they don't love it. I mean,
no, I won't do it. I think I've said ass on there one time.
Yeah, I said fucking last week, and I was like, whoops. Especially women, I don't think swear on TV.
I think it's cool because I feel like I'm just sitting in a bar going, "Hey, kid, yeah, fuck that guy."
Yeah,
that's Kat Timpf. But what was I going to say? Oh, so I think we're not. I think you're not going. And by the way, we now have proof, verifiable proof, that the Democrats organized people to go and incite violence at a Trump rally. They're busted. They are busted. And I also think to yourself too, if you're a Catholic, I'm a Catholic. And I try to adhere to the tenets of my faith. I fail every day because people suck. But if you're a Catholic, you must understand, and not a convenient Catholic like Tim Kaine or Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden. A Catholic who really tries to follow it. If you're one of them, the Democrats fucking hate you, and you need to know that. If you're a cop, the Democrats hate you. And by the way, I'm only going by what they say and what they do. They constantly throw cops under the bus. You saw all the emails, the horrible things they said about Catholics being a medieval bunch of losers. We got to infiltrate them, take them down. They're idiots. They're stupid. Has Tim Kaine responded to that? So if you're Catholic, they hate you. If you're a cop, they hate you. If you are someone like me who believes that the Second Amendment should not be messed with, we're supposed to have guns not to hunt deer. That's what it was.
I know.
Yeah, that's not what it was for. It was to protect yourself from banditry and, more importantly, a tyrannical government that oversteps its bounds. That's why when Cuomo goes, you shouldn't have to have 10 a magazine to kill a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cuomo, we know that. That magazine is because it's keeping up with the government and bad people who could get guns and kill.
So we should be able to have nuclear weapons and drones.
I would be very responsible with those.
Well, that's what the Constitution basically says. Yeah, it's to protect from a tyrannical government. But I mean, I don't want a nuclear bomb.
I think you're reaching a little bit there, Kat. And by the way, we don't have automatic weapons. I have an AR-15. You can't flick it on auto. You just fire and save. So my point is, if you're Catholic, they hate you. If you're a cop, they hate you. If you're a Second Amendment person, the Dems fucking hate you. Why are you going to vote for someone that has such naked disdain for you? Trump is a jerk. Anybody who believes Trump is the savior of the country is not paying attention.
Yeah,
but the other one has gotten rich at the behest of you and I. She's been in the public life her whole career. She was a fake senator. She was bought
She
by
did nothing.
She was bought by the New York rich Democratic donors. Was there anything more when I saw Hillary Clinton wear a Yankees hat with that smug smile? You're not a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you walk into a black church and start talking like a black preacher,
It's
that's
so
bullshit.
weird.
And by the way, can you imagine if Trump had walked into a church and started saying, "I've been a long way, but I'm no time," they would crush him.
Yeah.
And we also know, here's another thing, we also know now, demonstrably, irrevocably proven, I like throwing these words out, these adverbial type words, that the media we've already known this.
Right.
Now you got it in writing, that the media complex has actively, not even passively, actively protected them. The Joker in me, the Batman villain, the Joker in me, I'm voting for Trump just to watch those people burn.
Yeah,
I just want to see them implode.
It does make me laugh on the inside just to think of how upset Hillary Clinton would be. I mean, she
might actually, I'm not going to wish anything bad, she could possibly throw a clot. You know what I mean? Imagine that trauma, and I don't want that to happen to her, but her health isn't good. Can you imagine if she got the word that Donald Trump beat? Right? You're laughing.
Donald Trump of The Apprentice.
Isn't that? Yeah, Donald Trump. Hey, and listen, he beat you bad. Believe me.
Yeah.
Believe me, I can tell you.
Oh my God. I mean,
you said something funny on Twitter. I responded. Something about if by the way, you're fucking great on Twitter.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do. And your dad's awesome too.
I know, my dad's so funny.
Your dad's a funny.
Dad Timpf's on Twitter?
Dad Timpf is on Twitter. His handle is Dad Timpf.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But his name's Dan, right?
Yeah, his name's Dan.
But he's got this funny cartoon like picture. He's really a funny. Well, it makes sense because he's got a dog. Yeah. But you said something about the Costanza thing, like, "Hey, if he loses, is he going to show up like he didn't know?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "That would make great TV." Believe me.
It would be great. He's just going to show up like George pretends he doesn't quit. Trump's just going to show up to the White House like, "I'm here to be the president."
And it's an awkward silence, like, "Here, dude, have a bagel. Go outside."
Yeah.
Dude. I want to say one more thing. Am I talking too much?
No, you're good. I'm going to take a vape break though while you're talking.
Do it, man. Let's both take one.
I need a. I've been up so long.
Yeah. You got to get that fixed.
Ready?
Sorry,
right,
Kollege
good.
told us not to do that.
Pete's going to have engineer Pete. Yeah, he's going to have a fucking heart attack.
Pete, I'm really sorry, Pete. Don't.
Are you from New England, dude?
Oh, I'm from Boston. Born
Yeah, I
and
was
bred.
going to say. I was like, you said heart attack.
One of her guests.
Shut your dirty mouth, you dirty whore.
Yeah, one of her guests was like, "Are you doing an act? Like, is that a guest? Like you just try?"
Yeah, you're a character.
Yeah, you guess what he said. He's like, "Are you doing a character right now?" I was like, "No, I don't pop in and out of characters on my daily life." Shockingly,
tomorrow I'm going to be a Southerner.
Yeah.
No, the reason I say that, my unit, the National Guard Special Forces unit, when I was in New York, there wasn't any in New York, so I had to go to New England. There was one in Mass, and there was a better one that I researched with some of the guys that were still in that I left in Rhode Island, and I joined that unit. And all those cats are from New England, New Hampshire. Blah, blah,
New
blah.
Hampshire.
Boy, welcome to Worcester. The state charge is $1.25. You are a dirty whore. Like the accent. By the way, there is nothing less sexy than a chick with a hardcore. No, with like a hardcore. No,
you can say it.
It's nothing like less. That's for me. If you're from there, it's probably like a native call. But for me, I'm just like, I hear a chick with that kind of like, hey Johnny, I want to have sex. I want to suck your cock.
I mean, yeah, that's
just like it's not. I was like,
that's a solid Boston accent. Most people can't do them, but like,
I don't fuck around.
It's a chick that's gonna like fuck you up. That's what I think.
Yeah, you know what? But there is
like a tough chick.
Yeah, and you're kind of right in a way. They're kind of like, she might actually be able to take me in a fight.
Right.
So this might be a good role.
But how funny would it be if maybe you always talked in the Boston accent, but you're from like Milwaukee, but you just wanted to choose to identify as a dude from Boston
because you
Michigan,
liked
it
right?
better? Yeah,
that's right.
Like a Rachel Dolezal, like that fake black white lady, but instead a dude from Boston.
Yeah, who is that guy? So one more thing about Trump. Well, probably more things about Trump. I also the analogy I think of it. I got a lot of friends.
Not to brag.
I got a lot of friends.
Humble brag.
By the way, I didn't mean it that way, but I do have a lot of friends. And a lot of the guys are not. Some of the dudes are not. They're like, I'm not going to vote. I know some, but I know quite a few. I know some dudes that are voting for Gary Johnson. I say to everybody, I get it. And some of my favorite writers, Jonah Goldberg, Shapiro, Williamson, smart guys that I follow, and I agree with what they say. They are right about Trump. Here's where I just go, okay, I got your wit, I got your insight, it's spot on. But here's the thing: you're walking into a diner. It's your last meal in 4 years. You got 4 years. You walk in, the waitress goes, all right, you want the Trump platter or the Hillary platter? No. I would like the Gary Johnson platter. I don't like those two. They give me gas and diarrhea. I refuse both of them. Give me the Gary Johnson platter. We don't have that. Well, we can't make it for you. I don't care. I want it duly noted on your notebook that I ordered it. Okay, yes, sir. Great.
See, you're talking to a girl who's very okay with sometimes not eating.
This is the worst analogy ever with Tim. Tim would be like, yeah.
I'm not hungry.
You get a beer.
I ate one strawberry today.
And I feel so fat.
I'll probably
Do you do that? Are you that kind
She
of...
did that last week.
Is
She
she-
was like, I feel fat this week.
I did feel fat last week, but I don't feel fat right now.
Girls are funny because girls always... Let's talk about chicks. So girls are funny, even skinny
Yeah,
ones.
I don't think I'm fat. I'm not.
I know you
I'm
don't.
not completely like I
No.
have eyes.
Yeah, you're
you
not.
know?
You do have sensory ability.
Yeah.
But it's funny because a lot of girls you hang out, they're like, it's just so bloated this week. I'm like,
Yeah.
you look all right to me. You know, you don't look bloated, but it's...
I went on a trip to LA on vacation. I gained like 3 pounds in a week. I was just really going hard.
Could you feel it?
Oh yeah, and also people like someone tweeted at me like, "Did you gain weight?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually."
Well,
I
I've
mean,
seen your thing too. People are pretty brutal with you.
They're very mean. I mean, it's all right. It wasn't like a huge deal, but it's like, why are you looking so closely?
Yeah.
Like, why are you looking like? Yeah, I'm a little bloated in my belly right now.
Give me a break.
Are you pregnant? No, I'm not. I'm not pregnant. I'll never be.
But you
pregnant.
get that though. Don't ever say that.
I'll never be pregnant.
I don't. I refuse.
I'll say that. I'll never be pregnant.
I
for sure.
refuse.
Yeah, I
to
got a
be-
good shot at not being pregnant.
I refuse to be pregnant. I mean, I don't know. It's just it stresses me out to think about 9 months, no booze.
No.
That's like the
No vape.
no vape.
No vape. You got to give it all up. You got to eat right. You can't have a potato chip.
I gotta eat right. And I just gotta waddle around everywhere and have people not want to bang me, except for people that you really don't want to want to bang you, like Ken Bone.
Oh, listen, dude. So you're talking about this is perfect. So I was walking here. It's raining outside. Crappy day. I'm walking by, and there's a gal coming towards me. Yeah, probably 30s, good-looking girl, and she's pregnant. She's got the thing on. It was,
The thing on. You mean the baby inside of her?
the thing on. Yeah, she's wearing the baby suit. Yeah. Either that or I don't know. But she was coming towards me, and it was funny. I looked over at her. It was you see everything, and there was a dude right by the building, and he was just eyeballing her like it was like he was watching a porn. He was like this.
Was it Ken Bone?
It wasn't Ken Bone, but it was like this. And by the way, he was a normal looking. Whatever that is, like a normal looking kind of suit guy.
Yeah.
He's probably out for a smoke break. He was smoking. It was just so funny. He is eye screwing this pregnant woman. He's like, she's walking up. I'm coming this way. She's coming this way. He's here, and I kind of can take them both in. He's just like this. She's walking up. He's like this.
Yeah, see,
I was like, dude, wow, that's weird.
I understand, like, I guess if you're a dude and, like, your wife's pregnant and you, like, still bone your wife. But to be Ken Bone and select of all the things on the internet, I want to watch pregnant porn. I prefer to watch people pregnant with other people's babies just get banged.
I never got that.
That's what I want to see. I mean, the fall of Ken Bone was remarkable.
The rise and fall was so remarkably fast.
Yeah, because there are people saying he's the hero we deserve. Listen, nobody's the hero we deserve.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not. Nobody is, and that's why the whole thing with Trump. Everybody's getting wrapped around the axle. My buddy Wilkhouse said this. He goes, "Listen, we're not signing up for a freaking lifelong marriage with this guy. It's more important to me to not have Hillary Clinton in the office."
Lifelong marriage. Does that exist anymore? I don't know about that.
Like half the country.
I guess, but I think do they not talk to other people? I think that's what you'd have to do. I don't know. I'm a little cynical.
It's hard. I'm divorced, so
Yeah.
I can't talk smack.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've always thought, I mean, I'm getting a little old now, so I was like, I'll either never be married, I'll be married like 6 times. I'll just go buck wild.
Start racking them in. Cha-ching.
So I'd be like,
every 2 years, 3 years.
yeah, I mean, and then they'll be like, she's crazy, and I'll be like, I told you.
Well, you're kind of like a kind of cool single chick. I mean, do you
Yeah.
have like steady boyfriends? You kind of guys you sort of hang out with and get tired with?
Yeah.
Or is that too you know what I mean?
No,
I'm
it's
not even
all
talking about
right.
sex. It's like
No, it's all right. I've never had sex, of course.
No,
but
yeah. Mr. Timpf.
You're
hey,
laughing too hard.
Dan, just so you know, your daughter is never. She's really.
Well,
no.
I mean, like I said, I've not been married, and that's the only way you can do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
As a
That's how it
Catholic, you
works.
know that.
Yeah,
That is,
you
and by the way,
can't.
as a follower of Christ, I must agree.
Yeah, I mean, I've had long-term boyfriends.
Yeah, right? I
I
think
mean,
you did.
I had a boyfriend for about 1.5 years, but we broke up like 1.5 years ago, and I haven't had one since then.
Right.
Dated guys, kinda.
Yeah.
I just, if it starts to be a pain, then I'm like,
You're out.
I'm fine.
You're
I'm
out.
very good at being alone, and I don't mean like alone. I mean like just hanging out by myself.
Can I tell you?
I'm a writer, you know. I'm
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel the same way. You can love somebody and want to be around them, but I do like alone time, and I'm not saying alone time in the basement watching the paint dry. Like I live at the beach now.
It's better stuff you can watch.
There's a lot better stuff you can watch, and I have those 2 dogs. I live on the ocean. I'll just open the windows and just sit. I've read more books. I've always read a lot.
I love reading. Yeah,
I read constantly, actually, and I books. Not electronic things. I read books. I have stacks of books.
I read like cereal boxes and like
that's legit.
I sit around. I buy
old TV guides.
Yeah, I just buy a bunch.
Those are cool, actually.
I buy a bunch of food. What I do instead of eating, and then I read everything on the labels, and then I just throw it all away.
I noticed this has more riboflavin in it. Is riboflavin good for women? But yeah, so I mean, like I'm the same way. Like I don't. I've never felt, and actually, it's probably character flaw for me. Actually, sort of maybe something I feel smothered quickly.
Oh, me too.
And then you end up to what happens is that even if they're not doing it, I think they're doing it. So then I will rebel and go, I need space.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the happy medium. There's got to be a happy medium, and I'm sure there is. But yeah, we're losers.
I know. I think so. It's like for me, and the way my career has gone, it's gotten a little harder because guys do get insecure about it. Like I am on TV. I do get that amount of
you're
attention.
a pretty majorly public figure.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I'll invite if like I have like a work event or a work thing. It's like I'll be like I can't go out tonight. I have to do this thing. If I do invite them to come with me, they're like, well, you kind of ignored me all night. I'm like, yeah, because this isn't about you. Like, if you can't also work the room and do your own thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's just a matter of finding a cool guy who's pretty secure with himself and just is actually, he gets the idea that that's her doing her thing. And,
Yeah.
But that's probably hard to find somebody because it's like, because you're around now, man. A lot of people know you.
And I'm still getting used to it. Like, I was in a...
it's only in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
really.
it really very new.
Yeah.
I mean, since the Gutfeld show is about a year and a half ago. I got my TV contract 3 days after my boyfriend broke up with me, which is like the best thing in the world.
Stunt.
It was the best thing ever.
How perfect is that timing?
It's
like, hey,
perfect.
buddy, suck it.
I was like, man, I win. But I'm a Scorpio and I'm hella competitive like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was in a Panera Bread just the other day, and this old Southern couple just accosted me, and they were so excited, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not cool. Like, I'm just gonna go home after this and watch, some BoJack Horseman. You watch BoJack Horseman? I love that show.
No.
It's great. Do you like it? It's really, really
What's
good.
it called?
BoJack Horseman.
The most depressing show of all time.
Yeah.
It's
I've heard
excellent.
of it.
Yeah.
I
It's
actually
a big
really.
time show.
Is that on the cable?
It's
on the
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's on the Netflix.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a alcoholic, depressed horse who was a TV star, and then he's not happy because he's not successful anymore.
It's
and
a cartoon.
I'm already interested.
And then he gets successful, and then he's still not happy, which is how it all works.
Yeah, and people know horses are not. They got a lot. I just shot a gun off the back of a horse last week.
That's amazing.
I
I could not focus on those two things. I'm sure I would accidentally shoot my own face or accidentally kill the horse. Accidentally.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah, no, it was easy. About the fame thing though, it's funny because you're much more high profile than me. But there's a lot of guys who know me from like Warriors or Shark Week or the survival stuff, and a lot of people know me from Fox, from Gutfeld, and actually Red Eye. I'm not saying a lot, but more than you would think. And it's interesting, I think, when guys. I'm always very friendly because to me it's very flattering. The fact that they had enough kind of courage to come up and say, "Hey, are you Terry or are you that guy from?" I'm always like, when I'm with my friends, like, "Man, you're really nice to them." I was like, "How can I not be nice to them?" It took some real balls and some kind of like, risk taking to come up to some dude who might just say, "Yeah, that's me," and then walk away.
Right.
If you do that, you suck. If you can't be nice to people in an airport who come up to you or take a picture with their family.
Right. It is.
Do you get a lot of creepy guys coming after you though?
So yeah, but it's still nice. It's like, thanks for watching. If I didn't have creepy guys, I'd have
You'd have nobody.
Significantly smaller fan base. Sure. Shout out to them.
Yeah, it's different for a girl like you for sure. But it's funny. You're kicking ass though.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're kicking ass.
I'm doing.
My friends are big
can.
fans of you. They all I won't say some of the things they say,
I was gonna say, yeah.
But
guys.
but they actually also know you're smart, and so they actually think they like the way you crush things.
That's nice. I'd like to think that.
And they do want to have sex with you.
Of course, And
but Kat, you've been dealing with that your whole life.
Yeah, since I was a baby,
Since I was an infant, I've been beating people back with stick. Leave me alone.
The only time I ever had to actually leave a place was they were Barstool fans actually, and I was out and they were just like hammered. They're like, "You Kat from Bar," and they kept buying me like shots, and then I didn't even want these shots, and like I came back from the bathroom and there was like 16 shots like piled up on a table. I was like,
I gotta go.
Is this like a murder plan? Because I am not that big, and I can drink and I can drink heavily, but that's a
16
little. But
shots
that's
to
a
put
little
a-
bit.
put a-
I'm like, do you have like a dumpster plan for me later? Because otherwise, this is.
And then they got quiet and kind of looked at each other and go, no.
No,
Of course not.
And that liquor tastes good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I came back from throwing up on my birthday, and she handed me a tequila shot.
I did.
So I don't know why you're throwing stones in this glass house you've built.
I just hit my tooth on the microphone because I was actually laughing. Yeah, I did do that. That's a true story.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, look, but you were fine. Here you are
Oh,
today.
yeah, I'm still here.
You just said you drank a whole bottle of Tito's last night.
It was a good night.
And by the way, and I asked him, I go, why? And he goes, it was Thursday. I mean, how do you argue with this dude?
It's true.
You kind of can't argue with him.
It's true. I have a muscle spasm in my trapezius, so I took a muscle relaxer last night. Man, did I have no idea what was going on.
Really?
Those things, I mean, I had nothing to drink. I just took one. They were like, take one of these before you go to
Was
bed.
it Flexerol?
It was tramadol.
Tramadol?
Yeah.
I took one of those, and I was like, I started doing some yoga in my living room because I was like, oh, this will make my muscle feel better, and I can do some yoga, and I was just falling all over. I'm like, oh yeah, Kat, dumbass, it's gonna make all of your muscles
Yes.
not. Like,
Yeah, it's not just
not
Just
just
the
the
one.
one.
It's like, oh, that's the one that hurt. Let me go up there.
it's a trap specific drug.
I was just like flopping around my living room, and at one point I like woke up on my floor, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." I took a prescribed medication. I was like drooling on I had drooled all over my yoga mat. It was.
It's always fun the first time you try drugs like that if you've never done them.
Yeah, and I mean, like this
They
is.
hit you hard.
It was like terrifying. I
Yeah,
was like,
tramadol.
I have no idea.
It'll put you to sleep too.
Yeah.
Obviously, usually they actually prescribe that for sleep too as
Yeah.
well. But it is it's a Valium-ish, but not. Yeah.
I mean, I felt, and it just hit me really hard. I was like fine, and it was like an hour, and I was like, oh, this is, whatever. And then, I mean, I really felt like I was on another planet. Like, I don't even know if I've ever done a drug so crazy, and it was like from
Really?
the doctors. Maybe it's just me, but it really, like, I was completely, I had no fine motor skills. Like, I had to do some laundry, and I realized I left it in the washer, and I had to go downstairs and put it in the dryer. And I just kind of like, I remember I took it out of the washer, and then I put it back in the washer, and I was like, what am I doing?
But, and every drug's like that too. There's people I know that it's cyclobenzaprine. That's Flexerol. That's a muscle relaxer as well.
Yeah, I've had that one too.
Yeah, and I know a person that. I mean, they were just like, I was like, I didn't give you morphine, dude.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
But as a medic, Green Beret medic, man, I always had access to. I mean, I had access to any narcs you needed because we had to have them.
Right.
Guys get a leg blown off. I'm
probably
hitting that
hurts.
dude with morphine. Yeah,
Probably hurts.
And we do a lot. Yeah, it is. Yeah, or get really jacked up on. We guys get banged up all the time. So that's our training to be a Green Beret medic is about. It's the longest training in their special forces for the job because we've delivered babies. I set up.
Ew.
I pulled teeth. Yeah, it's not good. I pulled teeth, inoculated farm animals, and then trained Iraqis and did combat missions and kicked down doors beside of them.
Getting a leg blown off, and I'm sitting here like my shoulder hurts.
I had to take a drug
it's
for my
unbearable.
job. You have no idea.
My shoulder hurts. I can't go to spin class.
I tried yoga and I was flopping all over the place. And then I went to Greenblatt's and had the chicken salad. It wasn't good.
Dude, I don't like the chicken that's on chicken salads. It tastes weird.
You can. It can.
Yeah, I can. I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I don't.
By the way, all three of us at the same time just realized how freaking ridiculous that was. How by the way, how privileged you
I'm
are.
everything that's wrong with the world.
You are, by the way, the worst representative of the United States. You don't care. You're just self-absorbed. You're talking
I'm definitely
about
self-absorbed.
you're so self-absorbed.
Yeah.
But
for a living.
right. Well, I was gonna say, and you get paid to do that,
I
which
know.
is by the way, you kind of gotta be for what you do. You know. But isn't that funny? Yeah.
Also, guys sometimes be like, all you talk about yourself. I'm like, well, you're free to jump in.
Yeah, you can interrupt me, and if you don't, I'm not gonna.
Well, you know how people say that you like the way that you are, you expect other people are.
Yeah,
so
right.
if you're somebody that responds to messages right away, for example, you'll assume that if the other person's
do
not, then that there's something wrong or something
Right.
going on. I'm so bad with texting.
I'm the worst.
I'm like,
yeah, actually, you're bad too. I'm bad. I'm really bad.
I'm
I won't get
really
back. I won't
bad.
get back to days. And there's sometimes, I will do all right, I need a little moment to think about what I want to say to this dude. And then a couple days go by, and then I've lost that text.
Right.
And they're like, dude, where have you been? I'm like, oh, I'm an ass.
I have 80-some unread messages on my phone right now, but the worst thing about me, I'm like the worst of both worlds, because if people don't respond to me right away, then I'll switch over to Facebook Messenger, and I'll be like, hi, is everything okay?
Are you okay? So you want it your way, but if they don't respond, you're like, hey, why am I not hearing from you?
I don't claim to be anything but a nightmare, so I think it makes it.
I think that's sort of true. I think you kind of know what you're getting with her.
Yeah, I'm not like, what do you mean? You're surprised that I'm difficult? Because was I ever not difficult?
Yeah.
I'm not boring.
No, you're not boring.
Which I think is, a good thing.
I'd rather have a difficult chick than a boring.
Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, I'm very easygoing about a lot of things, but you do need to be obsessed with me. Completely obsessed with me.
Yeah.
I can forgive pretty much anything else except for
inattention.
Were you thinking about something other than me?
He was somewhere else.
Hello.
I'm
Hi.
right
here.
Up
Hi.
here.
Yeah.
Up here.
But
that's funny. I think a lot of. I mean, who doesn't want? But here we are. We're talking about the same thing. Like, you want someone to be obsessed with you, and I know what you mean.
But I also need my space.
Right. But also when they become obsessed with you, you're like, I'm out. Right? Because then it's like, it's a little much. So some dude's someone's got to find the way to be obsessed enough and attentive enough to you, but also be able to give you your space.
I know it's gonna be. I mean,
it'll happen, Kat.
Maybe
it'll happen.
Maybe it will. Or maybe
just wish
it won't.
upon a star. It'll happen.
I kind of want to get another cat just so I can name him Donner. And everyone will be like, "What's that from?" I'll be like, "The Donner Party, one of the greatest tragedies in American
of all
history."
time. Here, read this.
People hate each other in this. I went to Vegas for 5 days, like not too long ago. By the way, way too long to be in Vegas. I have
a funny story about Vegas.
I can't believe I didn't die, but one of the days after like a really long night, I spent the entire next day reading about the Donner Party, and I don't know how.
What the hell?
I was sitting in a casino and I was like starting to think about things I learned in 3rd grade. I guess I don't know. Donner Party.
I had never been to Las Vegas. I just went last year actually to do. I was headlining. Pete Hegseth has that group. Oh, he doesn't anymore. Concerned Veterans for America. So I was emceeing some of their events. That's the first time I've been to Vegas. Years ago, when I was, so one of my jobs when I wasn't deployed or doing TV I was like the door guy. I was the velvet rope guy of a bunch of really cool, clubs. And one of the guys I worked with was this. He was like the best looking guy in the world. He looked like a Calvin Klein model. Like anytime I went anywhere with this cat, I was the fat ugly chick, right? That was just like, I was his like dirt, ugly friend. But he was a really cool dude, and he was on his way to Las Vegas to go do something. And I said, I've never been. He goes, oh, bro. He goes, I'll tell you what it's. So he comes back, and I said, how was Las Vegas? He goes, I got home last night. I was emaciated and my dick hurt.
Oh boy!
And I was like, "That sounds pretty fun." He goes, "You can't stay longer than 2 days."
You
That's
can't.
What he said.
That's
what he said. Is that true? I mean, like I was only there I didn't do anything Vegas-y at all.
I tried to.
Because I was working.
I tried to turn my wonton soup that I ordered into more wonton soup, like using a jacuzzi. And
you did not.
Yeah, I think so. Based on the evidence the next morning with the wontons in the jacuzzi, I don't know. Maybe I just tried like.
You just like tripped out.
I was like, it was, but I just really think that it's, it wasn't my fault. It was too long to be there, and I don't know.
Bad things will happen if you're there for probably 5 days.
I mean, I feel like I work so much that when I have time off, I'm just like, I really go for it just as hard
You've
as
earned
I
it.
do the
You've
work,
earned it.
the work days. But I'm not a bad person. I'm not a really
Kat, I've never met anybody who thinks you're a bad person.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm I love my dad and my family.
You're actually you know what's cool about you? I can tell that too. You're a family girl.
I am absolutely.
Which is actually. Again, that's also kind of informs, because I've read a lot of your stuff, and it informs a lot of the shit you write, which has to do with, you're so weird because it's like you come off as this sort of like
cunt.
No, I was never gonna say that. No, by the way, I've never thought you were a cunt. You went for
Thank you.
But you come off as this sort of like. Sometimes you come off as this, you need to be wearing sunglasses because you come off as a bit of this disinterested artist thing, like, oh, I can't even.
Yeah.
But you could tell you're really smart. But I also know by reading what you have written and a little bit of your background, you're actually like a really classic family girl who's
Absolutely.
raised by good people.
Oh yeah.
Right. And by the way, that's important. That's more important than government. That's more important than it. So like I think that's what's so funny about you, because you got kind of this party girl, sort of a little bit over the top image sometimes in a good way. But actually, I'm onto you. You're actually like a really nice family girl.
I am. Well, especially even after, when my mom died and all
Right,
that, I was
right.
like, I'm there for my dad. I'm the oldest. I'm there for my dad. I'm there
Right.
for my brother and sister. And, they're more important. Like, they're more important to me than anybody.
That to me
those
is that's
people.
whatever other shit you end up getting into. That's actually who you are, in my opinion.
I really like my family. And you know what else I really like? Kapari beauty products.
Oh, you're welcome for me teeing that up for you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're like me, the shelf space in your bathroom is precious real estate. That's why I'm so excited to introduce you to a line of beauty products that's as great at multitasking as you are. Kapari. It's got no sulfates, Terry, no silicones, no GMOs, parabens. They're made with, get this, 100% organic coconut oil. A lot of great products: coconut shear oil, coconut balm, coconut crush scrub, coconut body glow, coconut melt. And the coconut body glow, I got it in my bag. I put it on my legs before I go on Fox. I actually do use this product. Gives them a nice little sheen, and everyone always tells me how good I smell. So, you know what? You should all just go ahead and say aloha to the best skin and hair of your life with Kapari. Go to kaparibeauty.com/cat to get 20% off your order. That's Kapari, Kopari, beauty.com/cat, K-A-T as in me, for 20% off. Crushed it.
And scene.
And scene. That was good, right?
Well done.
Yeah, it was really, 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 I'm still learning how to do that. But this stuff I actually do use, so it's, it's nice.
I think most of the guys I know, like the guys at radio guys, like Andrew on Patriot, he has sponsors that he does that. He uses like super beats.
Yeah.
And he gave me some, and he talks about different things. So, but it's so funny because it's in the middle of talking at the break, he's got to go or blah blah blah. I'm just like looking at him. I go,
Yeah.
You're a whore. but we're all whores, really.
Correct.
In one way or another.
In one way or another, we all are.
I told you earlier, my favorite story was about Gavin with that Mother's Day ad from the flower
Classic.
company,
Yeah.
like talking about get your mom some flowers. He's like, wait, doesn't this make it sound like you want to fuck your mom? And then the next week they're like, we lost the flower sponsor. And he's like, why? Because you sort of suggested that the flower company supports incest, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, that's probably not the projection of what they want to do.
Oh, Gavin, I mean.
So, you don't think Trump's going to win?
No.
No. You think he's going to get crushed?
Perhaps. I'm really not a fan of Hillary Clinton. I
know you're not. Yeah, I know that.
Really just awful. She's just so awful.
She really is.
And even having to think about listening to her talk for 4 years, every time there's like a thing where the president talks, that alone makes me very upset.
These are hard choices, blah blah blah, and blah 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 blah. Everything about her is kind of bullshit.
Yeah, and we can make fun of her voice and the way she smiles weird. Like, that's what I don't get. That's not even like sexist. People make fun of Trump's appearance all the time to say,
Yeah.
And I get sexualized, and people say horrible things about me all the time. It doesn't affect me emotionally. Like,
No.
I go, no matter what, whatever, whoever's grandpa that's like, just discovered the internet, thinks about me, my body, what I do,
Things
what I
he
say.
wants to do.
It doesn't really, and I just still go on about my day no matter what, which is why I don't understand people who are like, we need to make the internet a safe space for women. It's like, it's safe. Are there like hatchets coming out of your computer swinging at you?
Are there lions coming to crush you?
No,
probably
you're
not.
probably gonna be okay.
You can actually just turn it off. Well, that's the thing, though. But girls like you are a threat to a huge threat to. I don't even want to call it feminism because you're a feminist.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I mean by that is, it is what it is. You are who you are. You're better at some things than other people.
Right.
You're worse at some things. That's, to me, that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's just so it's funny. So the feminists. I hate using that word because that's not what they are. They're kind of
no,
like
they're like, women are weak as hell. We need special rules
Right,
so we can even go on the computer.
Right. And so, no, you kind of can't have it both ways, but they want it both ways. And in the military, that was a thing too. There's women in the military, and great, but they're not in. They're getting in now, but they've had separate physical standards for them. If they have separate physical standards for them, that is how can they?
I don't support that.
How can they be equal?
Because the military, I mean, that's some important shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going into combat, like, the enemy's not gonna be like, all right, well, I'm gonna shoot at you less because you're a girl.
Right.
Like, that's
I
just
weigh
not...
190. If you put all my body armor, all my ammo, throw a medical rucksack on my back, I'm like getting close to 300-pound dude.
I couldn't even walk around in the body armor. It would probably kill me if they put it. It would just squash me like.
And
a bug.
on another thing with having women in special forces. Here's the thing: there's some girls out there that can do it. There's some diesel chicks. When people say girls can't do it, I go, no. There's some that can. Very small amount that can do it because your frame if you're humping a 110-pound rucksack on your back, trust me, it breaks you. So I don't think a lot of women's frames could take it, but there are some. You see some of these CrossFit chicks, I mean, they could do it.
Not me.
It's not that, no.
I hate when I buy, like, whenever I buy a full bottle of seltzer, and a
It's
nice
heavy.
seltzy, and I put it in my purse, I'm like, I think that might be what's wrong with my shoulder, carrying around too much seltzy in my bag.
It's too much. You can't be expected to carry that. But it's not about the weight.
My tooth keeps hitting this mic. What is going on? Are they getting bigger?
They're growing. They're growing. Your smile's bigger.
I don't understand.
Yeah, but you can't. So that's the thing. It's there for the physical. For the few girls who can do it physically, what they want to do is retool the whole system. And guys like us that are on an A team, I mean, honestly, it's if you're into boys, man, it's the dream life because we're 12 guys. There's no shower, there's no bathroom. We're all on top of each other. There's no separation of sexes because it's just a bunch of warrior monks basically. Mm-hmm. If you throw sexuality into that mix, gay or straight, you know, that was my problem with the gay thing. Not because they're gay. I think people would be surprised. The gay community would be surprised how much we don't care what they do. We're not even interested in it. Mm-hmm. But does introducing the idea of identifying yourself as a specifically sexually focused person, that will fuck up the mix. Because, and I know guys who have gone from special forces that got a job in more of a support unit to take not time off, but just do a different thing. So guys in civil affairs units, psyops units, stuff like that. And they're like, dude, you have no idea the fraternization that's going on. I mean, and these units have separate barracks. They have separate bathrooms, separate shower facilities. There's tons of EO complaints, you know, harassment complaints. Some girls get pregnant. And it's not because girls are bad or guys are bad. That's just kind of what happens. And so if you put guys and girls together in that situation, it gets sticky. I don't mean that to be gross. It just becomes complicated.
But you mean it the other way too.
I do mean it the other way.
Like cum.
Thank you for. Hey, by the way, the Boston guy just says you mean like cum, Schappert.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's like, but that's, and by the way, that distraction is potentially lethal for us every day as a team sergeant, which now I don't have to think about, which is a bit depressing for me, honestly. I'm having a harder time than I thought. But I also haven't had time to engage because I rolled right into another series and I'm working. In my alone hours, which have started now, it hurts because I'm like, that was my identity.
You're adopting more dying dogs?
Yeah. Well, what separates me? Yeah, I adopt more old dogs. Why did I come on to do this with her?
Sorry about your dog.
She's such a dick.
Yeah.
I know.
You're such a dick. You can't even. By the way, you can't even help yourself.
I can't. I'm sorry. It's like everybody listening. His dying dogs are very cute.
What is wrong with her? I don't know. Yeah. Let me finish my thought before you say more.
I think it's very nice that you adopt dying dogs.
I'm not listening to you right now. I'm not listening to you. They're not dying. They're not old. They're not dying. They're old.
I'm sorry.
So by that thing, I'm 50. I'm dying now.
I'm sorry.
I'm not in love with your tone, Timpf.
Sorry.
It's okay. You're gonna hit your tooth on the mic again, aren't you? You just cannot help yourself.
I'm crying a little bit.
It's okay.
Not because I'm laughing, but
Thinking about those dead dogs, laughing up a storm.
Yeah.
She's a cat person.
She's you know what's so funny too? For someone who's in the public eye, she's kind of a bit of a misanthrope.
I can't.
You know what I mean?
A bit.
A little bit of a misanthrope.
I'm sorry.
And by the way, eating people, dying dogs.
And by the way, you know what? All of them are. Greg Gutfeld is too.
We're all dying.
Gutfeld's a misanthrope now. A little bit. All the people who do kind of what Kat does, they're a little bit like misanthropic, I think. So my final thought on this, the Green Beret thing. You know, I took over a team in 2011. Actually, when I got back from the sniper school, it was the old man. They promoted me to E8 Master Sergeant, and it was my team.
I just want to laugh because I know I'm not supposed to. Continue. I got it out of the way.
Okay, let's move on. So there's two things you got to concern yourself with in my job. Okay, how to increase my team. Two things. That's it. Everything else is bullshit. How do I increase my team's lethality?
Right.
And how do I increase their survivability?
Right.
If something doesn't lead directly or indirectly to those two things being increased, it is a distraction. So all this sexual crap, all this identity politics, it is a distraction for us, and I think we'll pay for it. Look, blame men if you want. Guys have a hard time looking at a girl and not being protective. If for no reason, for the biological thing I just told you about we're wired to protect females because without them, we ain't making any more people.
Right.
We're expendable. Guys are expendable. We get thrown into the meat grinder all the time in wars since there's been humans, and that's the way it should be. But like with women, we need women. So there's a biological drive. There's a societal drive that came, though, from the biological drive. It's all, you know. Where's I going with this?
I don't know.
Just don't carry a rucksack and just get behind me. I got body armor.
I know.
You'll be okay.
I will. We're gonna wrap up actually.
Yeah.
So if there's anything, this will come out on Monday, and
Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Is there anything you wanna promote or anything?
I'm in the middle of filming. I did something a few months ago for BBC, and it's and that's not BBC what you think it is. British Broadcasting. Let's move on. So it's actually a show. It's a second season of a. How do I know that? That's also fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's actually a Special Forces series. It's called Ultimate Hell Week. Special Forces Ultimate Hell Week, and pretty good actually. They take civilians, British civilians, guys and girls, super fit, and there's six periods that they got to go through. They have a Navy SEAL puts them through their shit. A guy from Poland, Grom, Special Forces, who I've worked with before. Australian guys, South African guys, and then they had Terry Schappert had the Green Beret episode, so I had these people, and I put them through the ringer, and it's actually a good show. So I don't know when that's airing. They were supposed to be already airing it, but I think they have a lot of military shows, and I'm right now in the middle of filming a show for Outdoor Channel called Hollywood Weapons, and it's like Mythbusters, but it's my show. And basically, if you're watching a movie and you see a guy shoot a gun or do something with a bow and go, "Can you really do that?" Well, I'm gonna see if you can. So like it's fun because I get to go back to being an actor. So like I've had little segments in it where I look like Clint Eastwood. I'm doing it like a line from the movie and talking, but then I'm actually on top of a horse, real horse, shooting a Sharps buffalo gun at a hangman's rope 200 yards away to see if you can do it, or shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did. So it's actually a lot of fun. So I'm in the middle of doing that, and yeah, that's kind of. Oh, one more thing, in case, just let your listeners know, we're still at fucking war.
Yeah.
We just lost a dude the other day. We lost another Green Beret before that, and I feel like we're talking about Donald Trump grabbing pussy.
Mm-hmm.
I would just tell people, whoever you, just to take a second and think about what's going on. We're still at war. We've never been in a war this long.
It's a very long war.
You have no idea, and we're tired. We're fucking tired, and we'll still do it because we love what we do. And I told you earlier in this talk, we love each other. That's why it took me so long to get out of the Army. Not because I'm an adrenaline junkie. That's actually, I think that's sort of a simplistic, not true way to describe what we are. We are team guys. It's always about the guys and the team. And Sebastian Younger, he actually has a great talk about why guys have such a hard time coming back. It's not because they miss the action so much. It's they miss each other. They miss feeling like they belong and like they're part of that family. And so, so just we're all in it. But we're like a fraction of the population, and I think one day we will be a lost generation because most people, for most people, the war is a news story. They come in at night and turn on the TV and go, "Oh man, we lost a dude in Afghanistan. What's for dinner?" And I got a date tonight, and it's gone. They didn't lose anybody. They're not worried at night, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, man. We're still at war, folks, and you need to make a decision about how we finish it up. Or not finish it.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good to see you.
Yep. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.